Alright, I want to talk about the Bloomberg thing again, because it bears repeating, and I want to delve into metaphysics. Back when I was reading Ayn Rand, I'm paraphrasing here, but Ayn Rand said that a social law will last for generations. An economic law will last forever. And that seems to be the case. Let's put it this way. If you were to ban smoking completely, no one could smoke, ever. How long do you think that would last? But if you were to say, let's put heavy taxation on tobacco and all tobacco products, that would most likely stick around, because the government benefits from revenue, the tobacco industry benefits from still being able to sell tobacco just at a higher price. They don't care, they're making their money. The social conservatives benefit because, hey, less people are smoking because they can't afford to. The only person that suffers is the liberal who wants to be able to smoke freely but can't because it's too fucking expensive. What's his alternative? Get it from the black market and risk an arrest? So that's the thing about economic law. It has a way of shaping the demographic. It has a way of shaping the political debate to its own advantage. And that is why Ayn Rand was so worried about financial government. She wasn't so much worried about governance over people's social lives. Whether or not she agreed with it is besides the point. The point is, libertarians and objectivists and everyone on the right seems less inclined to be upset over social conservatism as physical liberalism. And that's precisely why. Because physical liberalism is much more detrimental, but at the same time much more powerful. Whether or not all taxation and all regulation is bad, I'm not going to say that here. That would be wrong. That would be incorrect. Taxation and regulation can be good. It is social conditioning. That is all it is. Much more so than a social law. Much more so than just saying it's wrong to have gay butt sex. It's wrong to smoke pot. It's wrong to do this or that. All that can do is punish you. But an economic regulation can shape your own mentality of it. Because then, in the back of your mind, you think, well, it's not illegal. I just can't do it right away because it's too expensive. And then that makes you have this burden of having to pay more for that thing, and you begin to resent it. It's all part of the indoctrination process. You know, if you read Freud, all these psychology books and shit, it's just positive and negative reinforcement. That's all it comes down to. That's what the state comes down to. That's what corporations come down to. That's what any institution able to control the means of production comes down to. They can control your mind. They can control your mind, your body, everything about you. And whether or not it's backed by a cross or a flag or for your own good is irrelevant. So to suggest that we should just have no government whatsoever it's ridiculous. It's irresponsible, and it's just impractical. But the idea here is that people can be indoctrinated, and maybe they should be indoctrinated. People are weak. People are stupid. And most of all, people are evil. When left to their own devices, they're despicable. That's why we have the internet, and that's why moderators run a fucking muck. Because no one is around to regulate them, and then thus they only impose their own beliefs onto the rest of us, and we're expected to deal with it. And for the most part, people do deal with it. Why? Because they're bitches. Because they're little bitches who like to get fucked over by a fascist overlord. So, knowing that, we must decide for ourselves what is the best social conditioning tool to get people away from that. To get people away from that mentality and direct them toward another. People are there to be manipulated. I hate to say it, but it's true. People far and wide want to be controlled, and they want to be subverted, and they want to be destroyed. And I have no desire to hurt anybody or to make them feel pain, but when you get right down to it, people are pretty fucking sick. They're sick and depraved. And if you know that, then why you do what you do and why you think what you think no longer becomes about, oh, are other people going to see me as a bad guy? It becomes about what is objectively right and wrong. So, some people have figured out that I have somehow turned objectivism into a socialist, communist stance. I've turned it into a leftist stance. And some people might be freaked out by that. They might think I'm spitting on Ayn Rand's grave. Hopefully I am. But the point here is that, yes, I understand that there is absolute right and wrong. But it's not so easy as to say, well, this is wrong and that is wrong. It's about being pragmatic. It's about using the tools of right and wrong, like elements, like chemistry, to conduct experiments upon the people in order to make more right and wrong. People are just a means to an end. They are part of the equation. They are the mathematical building blocks to initiating more right or more wrong. Usually more wrong. But I do not think they're incapable of doing right, but they need conditioning. And is it right to condition people not to drink soda? I do not think so. I do not think there's anything wrong with consuming mass amounts of soda or mass amounts of anything. In fact, I think all the more so they should, because when they're busy consuming, they're not busy hurting. They're not busy prowling on each other and victimizing each other and bullying each other and moderating each other. If moderators were busy getting high, drinking beer, having sex, having a life, and doing things that did not involve fucking people over online, treating them like shit, there would be no moderators. And this applies to everything. This applies down to the serial killer, to the rapist, to everything. If these people had a distraction, they would not be busy doing what they're doing. That is evil. So in order to make people less evil, you have to introduce things into their lives that, keep their mind busy, like fucking shiny keys or whatever. And it's a very cynical view of humanity, but it seems to work. The elite know that. That's why the elite keep you docile with your stupid fucking video games and, Jersey Shore, bullshit pop music and things like that. And you don't realize how little you have in life. You don't realize how easy it is to lose everything. Right now, this very moment, you could lose your house. The mortgage companies could say, fuck you, and you lose your house. The banks could close down your account. Now you have no money. Fucking restaurants could refuse you service. You can't eat. Grocery stores, things like that. Everyone has the ability to fuck you over so severely, and you don't even see it because, I have my pop culture, I have my parties and my friends, my bros, and all this other bullshit. It keeps you stupid. And maybe you deserve to be stupid. Because when you're not being stupid, you're being fucking evil like Moot or Steve or Mark Zuckerberg. You ever notice that too? Why is it everything with the name Berg tends to be bad? Mark Zuckerberg, Bloomberg, Bilderberg, Asperger's. Everything with the Berg connotation tends to just be terrible. But that's just an observation. What I'm getting down to, the fact, is that the government is like the Force. It is like the Force in that it can wield itself, and it can either be dark or light side. And I believe that this soda regulation delves too far into the dark side. It delves too far into the dark side because it wants to impose its social rules upon the rest of the people in a way that it has no business doing. This is not harming anybody. Okay, sure, maybe soda's not good for you. But you know what else isn't good for you? Working. You know what else isn't good for you? Rejection. You know what else isn't good for you? Depression. You know what else isn't good for you? Stress, confusion, exhaustion. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Nobody gives a fuck about how unhealthy it is to work 9 hours a day, 6 days a week, and not get laid when you want to, and not have what you want available. So, why the fuck do you care if someone gains a little weight from sugary treats, or, gets insulin spikes from too much soda? What the fuck do you care? That can't be nearly as harmful as just day-to-day living. But yet, somehow we have to regulate the soda. It's the soda's fault. No, you're just trying to deviate attention away from yourselves. You're trying to distract people with the fucking soda instead of worrying about our society and how bad it is and how little we actually get in life and how we have to struggle and dig in the dirt for the fucking bare minimum. And, everything is a goddamn hassle from, having sex to getting a home to just being able to get a fucking job. Look at me. Everyone talks about how, why don't you go get a job? Well, I do try to get a job, smartass. I work every day to apply for a fucking job, and you know what? It's a bitch. It's like pulling out my fucking eyeballs. I should not have to sit here for a goddamn hour answering yes and no questions in a monotonous manner. Yes, no, yes, no. And I have a fucking resume, but meanwhile I have to repeat myself again and give them all this information I know they're going to sell to other companies or just throw away in the trash and expose myself to other people. And for what? Just for them to say, "Oh, well, sorry, we're not looking for people anymore," or "You're not quite what we're looking for." No, you should pay me just for having to fucking go through the effort of trying to get a job, because it's a fucking buttload of work just to get up off my ass and go down there for an interview, all uncomfortable, like, I'm at prom or something, and kiss your ass just to get a job. I'm working. I'm not sucking you're not sucking my dick. I'm sucking yours. I fucking am willing to work for whatever measly wage you're giving me. It's not nearly enough. And you're fucking putting all this stress on me. You're putting all this burden on me to impress you with my skills and my sparkling personality and my experience and my education. And meanwhile, you're gonna fucking pay me what, $9, $10 an hour to do the most boring, most dreadful, most soul-sucking work you can ever imagine, whereby a few months I want to kill myself. Oh, but I owe you, because you're the capital owner, and I should be so lucky as to even be seen by you. For you to even look in my general direction is a blessing from God. Fuck you. So, that's what this comes down to. And you have to realize this metaphysical truth, and then decide what is right and what is wrong, objectively, and then choose the dark side or the light side. So, see you later.